Good morning, friends. It is here, the anticipated and sort of exciting. We'll go into all of that. Harvest Summon has arrived. And this time around, it's got some brand new featured heroes, and they are vegetables. Like, they're literally vegetables. I don't know, that's different. That's definitely interesting. We kind of knew these guys were coming, but I thought it was a very goofy way of doing things. I wasn't sure if maybe that was going to stick or not, but it sure looks like we now have a vegetable family to pull from. So let's take a closer look at these guys. Let's not judge a book by its cover, right? Maybe we're going to get some sort of amazing hero out of these things, and they do recommend vegetables daily, right? So here's a chance to get your vegetables. So first things first, we've got ourselves this brand new red hero by the name of Bartholomew. Interesting. He is going to be the Barbarian class. Not the most exciting class, but does have that chance to get bleeds. He will be part of the Valiant vegetable family. Very exciting. And it will receive a bonus for 2 or 3 heroes. Fiends and Mega Fiends summoned by this character get +5 or +10% attack. And then it says Fiends and Mega Fiends summoned by this character get +2, +3% health. So it does a buff to Fiends and Mega Fiends. I can only assume that is going to be part of their exciting setups here. So let's just brighten that up a little bit. There we go. Let's go ahead and also look down here into our passives. We have Empowered Resist. So this says, this character is immune to status ailments that prevent the use of special skills. They also gain 450 boosted health and 5% mana each time they resist. So this is pretty cool. Preventing means things like silence, mindless, paralyze, all of those type of effects that normally lock down specials. They're not only immune to it, they will be getting the boosted health and additional mana each time it is attempted on them. So watch out, Song. This guy is ready for you, for sure. Then we also have Seedling Summoner. This passive says summons a Seedling Fiend every turn to a random enemy. The Seedling Fiend evolves into a Sprout Fiend after 2 turns. The Sprout Fiend will evolve into a Blooming Mega Fiend after 2 turns. Oh, interesting. Okay, so when I saw this before... yeah, there we go. So it's 3 tiers of this, evolving every 2 turns. So it starts out with a Seedling Fiend with 50% attack and 15% health. That's not a lot of health. So if you have a heal up, you're probably clearing off the first level of these specials. But if you don't have a heal up, it's going to most likely evolve into the Sprout Fiend with 75% attack and then 25% health. Now, I don't know exactly how this mechanic works because these are brand new heroes, but I'm assuming when it evolves, that it's going to get a new health pool. So if you've already been healing, I'm guessing its health will reset. But I don't know this for certain. If it doesn't, then it will be pretty easy to clear off 25% health even within 4 turns. I think that's a reasonable clear point. But if it resets the health, then you have to start back over. That's a little bit tougher, but still 25% health is not that crazy. So you have 4 turns to be able to clear 25% health to get rid of these things. Otherwise, they evolve into a Blossom Mega Fiend, which is 250% attack and 60% health. Now we're talking that's a little bit more powerful. So do I think this is a particularly powerful move? Not necessarily. I think it's an annoyance. And what it will do is absorb some of the general healing that's done, because this automatically and passively puts it out each turn, right? So rather than think of this as like, will I get a Mega Fiend up? Think of this as I'm getting free heal reduction on my opposing team that can't be cleansed off, right? Because it's a Fiend or a Mega Fiend. It can't really be removed in that way. So with that in mind, if you think of it as more like a healing reducer with the chance of turning into something more exciting like a Mega Fiend, I think it's a little bit more exciting when you look at it that way than expecting these fiends to be a particularly strong aspect by themselves. Okay, so under Aether Power, we are looking at Rage. Rage is a fun way to boost his attack at the beginning of the fight, which I'm sure he's already, pretty good attack stat there at 1820. And of course, their team power, which I didn't cover before, is 1617, so they are the highest team power currently released, so that's pretty fun. Down here in the special, operating at average speed, we have Capsium Charge. Deals 300% damage to the target and nearby enemies. Deals an additional 15% damage for each Fiend or Mega Fiend owned by the enemies, up to 450% damage in total. Harvests buffs from the target and nearby enemies. Harvests and new things. So let's take a look at what the little thing says. Harvest safely removes 2 buffs, positive stacks, or growth effects from each target. This includes undispellable buffs and dance effects. Oh, you can steal dance effects. That's interesting. The caster receives 7% boosted health for each effect removed. Boosted health can exceed max HP. Well, that's certainly fun. You're basically stealing stuff. I do love this, especially with that new family that came out in the last seasonal summon that was doing growth every turn. Steal that, right? Steal that growth effect. There's not a lot of ways to steal growth, but this is an intentional way to do it, so that's pretty cool. Then it also the safe removal bypasses secondary effects, such as damage on removal from removed status effects, buffs, external effects, etc., etc. Growth effects are removed first. Oh, growth effects are removed first. That's even more exciting to me. Other effects are removed after that. Okay, so that means not only that, but it picks on growth effects first. So yeah, this is a direct counter to the family that was released in the last one. Like, yeah, go ahead, buff yourself up. I'm going to keep stealing that from you the whole fight. That's pretty neat. So kind of cool. I appreciate that. Let's go to the final part of this guy's special, the caster and nearby allies counterattack with 110% for 4 turns. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got a Reaper hit of 300 that can be buffed based off the number of fiends he's popped out. And not just him, but pretty much any of the enemies having fiends or mega fiends. So if you put him in a fiend style deck, you're going to get up to a 450% Reaper hit from this guy, operating at average speed with his attack stats pretty decent. He is stealing a lot of stuff, and remember, he is priority stealing growth effects, which is fascinating. I love that they added that's the priority, that it will steal first, and then he also is giving counterattack for 3. So we've seen this a lot. We've seen quite a few heroes that are a Reaper hit and then put counterattack up. He's one of them, but I do like this sort of style of character, so I give thumbs up to this one. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give him a solid 8. You know what? Actually, let's just say 9. We're going to say 9 only because I think this guy's passive effects of minions out each turn and stealing growth effects and everything else, just it makes him too strong to even be an 8. So good luck with him. We got a 9 out of 10 for Bartholomew. And that brings us to our next exciting hero, which is going to be Elsbeth. Oh, she is a very interesting thing. Okay, yeah, sure. All right, so we have a Paladin class. It is once again going to most likely have the same family bonus, 2 or 3 heroes, which is going to be plus 5 or 10% attack. Fiends and Mega Fiends summoned by this character get plus 2 or 3% health. Now, I do want to point out that if you were wondering if maybe these heroes would only ever be featured within this portal as kind of like a gimmick for it, I don't think that could be true, because it says right here that the family bonus is for 2 or 3 heroes. They've only released 2 in this portal, so that would be an impossible family bonus to get if they didn't intend on releasing more vegetables for you to collect. So, listen, don't worry. All of you people who love your, like, I don't know, Farmville or whatever they used to call those games, you are going to be able to get more vegetables. There will be more. Okay, moving on. We've got ourselves the, slightly different. Empowered resist special skill blocking. No, that's the same. So anytime they attempt to stop them, they're going to go ahead and receive that 450 bonus, boosted health and 5% mana. So just a reminder, this is strong against things like Silence or Mindless or Paralyzed, things like that. Then we also have our Seedling Summoner, which once again is going to do the building fiends. So each turn it's going to pop a fiend out there. It's going to start relatively lower with the 50% attack, 15% health needs to be healed through. That's going to last for 2 turns. Then it's going to evolve into a sprout fiend with 75% attack that needs 25% health. And if you can't clear that off in 2 turns, it will evolve into that blooming mega fiend for 250% attack and 60% health. So again, I do think that that's not necessarily strong in and of itself as fiends, but I would prefer to look at these as heal reducing debuffs that are going up for you that can't be cleansed off. They have to be removed by healing. So if you look at it that way, I think it's a little bit more exciting. Then we also have, oh gosh, this guy's got Knight's Endurance, or this girl, I'm not sure, looks like maybe girl. Okay, Knight's Endurance is the Aether power. We don't see this as often. So there's a 15% chance to drop any received damage to 1 for 6 turns. That's very strong, and definitely nice if you're thinking about making them more tanky. And maybe this character is designed to be more tanky. Let's take a closer look at the special. So then we have Guard of the Garden. Well, it sounds kind of tanky. Operating at fast speed, we have a 600% damage snipe to a target. If the target has fiends or mega fiends, it's going to go up to 500% damage to a single target, and it will summon a seedling fiend to each enemy. Okay, so this one's going to stack fiends even faster. A fast speed fiend to all is pretty strong too, so just keep that in mind. The caster and nearby allies get plus 44% defense and a further 10% increase each time they are hit for 3 turns, up to plus, does that say 94% defense? Good gravy. Okay, so yes, this character is designed to be a tank, and an annoying tank, because operating at fast speed, if you pop her in that role, she is going to just start pumping out fiends on your side, because you're going to probably be setting her special off a lot more than you intend to. She's going to be doing a strong snipe. I actually think this character is stronger than the last one we looked at, and a phenomenal tank. So I would expect that we are going to start seeing a lot of this weird turnip style tank in the meta. I think she will operate that well, because she has the Paladin buff to increase her defense, which is already a pretty reasonable stat here. Remember, they always show stats based off the attack path, so you can actually make this defense probably a pretty beefy stat if you were to stack a little more into it. Plus, she is then putting out these fiends, plus a reasonable hit, and doing the bulwark type style buff to everybody. So yeah, I think she is going to definitely be a very frustrating and annoying person. So like, if you have ways to clear fiends, that's going to be an excellent thing to do when going up against this character, because they're going to be everywhere. Frustrating, annoying, because not only is she giving the entire team that, but each turn she's popping one out with her passive as well. So just lots of fiends all the time. Very annoying. Okay, so if I had to rate her out of 10, I am going to give this person a solid 9 too. For different reasons, like same annoying mechanics that you're dealing with the other character, but also she's just going to overrun you with fiends, which is going to really reduce your healing potential when going up against these teams. I don't really give out 10s. I think 10s are hard to do. But if she operates the way that I think that she might be operating, she could exist within that 10 range. I don't know how you handle her efficiently because you can't prevent her special from going up. I guess maybe you could reduce mana and try to stop her that way. I don't know. It's frustrating. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, now let's talk a little bit about this portal and what we are looking at here. So these gimmick portals are some of my favorite ones of the year. I'm not guaranteeing you that they're going to be the most successful portals to pull from, and I will give you an argument for that coming up. So let's start with the info on this particular portal. Appearance rates. So in this particular portal, they're going to have increased chances of pulling a 5-star. You have your rare chance at 71%, your epic chance at 26.5%, and more importantly, your legendary, specifically non-featured, so no vegetables in this, are at 2.3%. If you're familiar with portal odds, the majority of portals are rocking somewhere around 1% pull rate. So you're getting over double the chance on each pull to get a 5-star out of here. I'm sorry, and then I did forget to mention the legendary featured heroes are at 0.2. 0.2 is stupid low. Like, it's stupid low. There's not going to be a lot of vegetables that come out of this portal for people, so if you get that, just consider yourself lucky, but I just understand that you are likely not. But let's talk about what you do get out of here, right? So what you do get out of here is a good chance to pull any 5-star that's been released in the last 2 years. Now, they do a cutoff at 2 years, so you're not going to get anything older than that, which is nice. It's a nice bonus. Nothing was more annoying than pulling like a 4-year-old hero out of one of these portals that you literally will never touch. It was very frustrating. So I'm glad they got rid of that. Now, that being said, 2 years behind the power creep also makes some heroes pretty questionable to level. The good news is you will be pulling costumes out of this portal, so if it's a costume hero, congratulations, you're still doing great. If it's not a costume hero and 2 years old, I would really debate if it's worth investing into. I guess it would just depend on each specific pull and whether you feel like they'd have a place in your roster, but like a 2-year-old hero is still questionable to invest into. Just keep that in mind. Now, the other nice thing about this portal is it does have the harvest bonus draw. So what is that about? Basically, this is a mechanic that they add to this, and it was my favorite mechanic of last year's gimmick portals. After every pull, it is going to do a random effect counter that goes off that will give you anywhere from 1 to 9 additional pulls at the end of the summon. Now, the odds of pulling 1 additional pull is very high. It's like 88%. So most likely you're getting 1 additional pull after each one, but you can get up to 9 additional pulls. So there is a chance to get so many additional pulls. And at very least, you're doubling the amount of pulls out of this portal because there's no way to get 0 bonus draws. So if you're doing a 10 pull, in reality, in this portal, it's actually a 20 pull. So that is very, very interesting to me. I do want to point out that a 20 pull at 2% means you're almost at like a 50% chance to get that. Oh, wait, no. There's a caveat. Legendary Hero of the Month. Oh, it's 1.3. In the test server, though, there was different odds for this, and I'm trying to see if this is here. Harvest Summon. Every summon is guaranteed to have 1 bonus draw, up to 9 bonus draws. I'm trying to see if there's... Okay, so it is possible that they removed this. So in the test servers, there was only like a 1.3% chance to pull 5 stars on the bonus draws. It almost looks like they've gotten rid of that. So without specifying, I'm assuming they're going to keep the odds at the 2.3%. And as you can look through, there are just so gosh darn many. Now, one little thing that I like to point out about this, if there are characters that you are trying to find out the CP for, like you're like, oh, what's the max CP of a certain character? This portal is amazing for that because if you have the patience to go through, you will find every single one here. And you can not only get their max CP, but if you turn off your max power preview, it should be able to give you both their stats at 80 and their stats at 90. It is very helpful. I often do screenshots of characters that I pull or things that I'm working on so that I can reference that later. So just a caveat there. I don't know what I'm going to do right now for polls, only because really I have a lot of gems. But much as I talked about, this portal is super fun to pull from, but not necessarily the best portal to pull from, and I'll explain why. You can pull anything, like literally anything from the last 2 years, but your odds of pulling a specific character, like if you're like, I really want to pull, I don't know, let's just say Yolanda. Look, the problem is when you trigger a 5-star in here, what it's going to do is it's going to then randomly generate a number between 1 and however many number of heroes have been released in the last 2 years. So let's just say 400. I don't think it's really 400. I'm just pulling that number out the top of my head. But if there were 400 heroes released in the last 2 years, if you get a 5-star pull, you then have like a 1 in 400 chance to get the one you're actually hoping for. That's pretty low. So when you go into this portal, you need to expect that you will get 5 stars, but you have no control over what 5-star you may get. So just understand that this is a random, fun, interesting portal to pull from, but not necessarily a strategic one if you are hunting a hero. Now, let's compare that to our 3 Kingdoms portal that they're running side by side, and this is a tough call, because these 3 featured heroes in the 3 Kingdoms portal right now are absolute monsters for the meta. Like, these guys are absolutely taking off in the meta, and really some of the strongest characters you can pull in the entire game. This is a cheaper portal, And I will point out that the odds are probably significantly less. So see right there, your legendary featured hero comes at 1%, right? But if you do pull a 5-star from this portal, the odds are more likely you're getting the featured and far more likely than a 1 in 400 chance of pulling like these specific heroes than trying to do it through that seasonal portal. So I guess my point being is that pulling out of this portal gives you characters at the very top of the meta, or at least a much higher chance of getting characters that are very top of the meta, but it is a lower 1% pull rate, and there is a chance of getting the older 5-stars from this portal as well, just likely to get featured ones, correct? So, I don't know. I like it between these two portals. Which one would I recommend? It depends on what level of gameplay you're at. But the more significant pulls, I think, would come from this portal with these 3 heroes, since they are kind of leading the meta. It doesn't mean it's a better option. It just means that you are likely to get a better character out of this portal than you would out of the Harvest Summon, minus the maybe pulling these vegetable heroes at 0.2%. So just keep that in mind when you are deciding where to pull from. There is a very good chance that you are going to want to consider doing either portal. So I think that's it for today. Like, I did kind of go over the mechanic here. I want to think about whether I am going to pull mostly from this portal or if I want to invest in 3 Kingdoms as well. It makes it tough. So I will do a video later where I do some polls and everyone can enjoy that, but it's not going to be right now. And I'm sorry about that, guys. But we will do some polls later, and I hope you all have a wonderful day and enjoy your Harvest Summon. Thank you.